Hi children, welcome to today's class. Today's topic is key features of Indian Constitution. So before starting that, you have to remember that the Indian nationalist movement had been very active in the struggle of freedom. The nationalist leaders during the freedom struggle, they were taken a great deal of time in seeing what the free India should be like. Okay, so they want mainly what we were mainly struggling from British rule. Yes, during that time people were struggling from British rule. We were forced to obey the laws. So they want India to be a country where people should be treated equally. During the freedom struggle, the nationalists had devoted a great deal of time to plan what a free India should be like. We need freedom of equality for all citizens, including the minority communities. This is because we were under the British rule and we were forced to obey their rules. Now, one more thing was that the country had many people from different communities. We have India is you can see that India is a diverse country where people from different backgrounds, religions stay together. Yes, we speak different languages and we have followed different religions and distinct cultures also. Now, these were the things taken into mind before planning the Indian Constitution. Now, listed below are the features of Indian Constitution. First one, federalism. Federalism means India has a three-layer structure. That means what? Indian government is formed in such a way that the effective rule of government can be done. For that we have governments at state level and center. We already studied in class 6 about Panchayati Raj. It is the local level of government where they take care of the local level like panchayats and corporations. So first point, in India we have a government at state level and at the center. First point underline page number 11, federalism. In India, we have governments at the state level and at the center. Panchayati Raj is the third tier of government. Underline this much. Now, here each state has their own freedom to exercise their powers. It is given in the constitution also. But in case of national matters, we have to obey the central rule. So, underline the point page number 12. Third sentence. While each state in India enjoys autonomy in exercising powers on certain issues, subjects of national concern require that all these states follow the laws of central government. So, you can see that army, then passport, all these things, we obey the central government rules. We have the central government rules in foreign affairs, defense and all, we have central government rules. Then state level, police comes under that, electricity, water supply, all this comes under state level. Each state has their autonomy or freedom to exercise their powers. Coming to the second point, second feature, parliamentary form of government. This guarantees universal adult suffrage for all citizens. In India, all citizens have, like people who are above 18 years of age have given the right to vote or choose their leaders. People have a direct role in electing their representatives. People have a direct role in electing their representatives. Every citizen of the country, irrespective of caste or religion, can contest in elections. So, parliamentary form of government means what? We have a government, a constitution which guarantees universal adult suffrage for all citizens. We have a constitution which guarantees universal adult suffrage for all citizens. People have direct role in electing their representatives. Direct role in electing their representatives. Then every citizen of the country, irrespective of caste, religion, can contest in elections. This is the meaning of parliamentary form of government. Coming to the next one, separation of powers. This means in India we have three organs. Three organs of the country are legislature, executive and judiciary. These are the three organs of the state. The three organs of the state are legislature, executive and judiciary. Legislature means what? Underline this point. The legislature refers to our elected representatives. The legislature refers to our elected representatives. Executive is responsible for implementing laws. So, executive means it is a small group of people who are responsible for implementing the laws and running the government. Now, third one is judicial, refers to the system of court in the country like Supreme Court, High Court and local courts. Next point is fundamental rights. Fundamental rights means people in India have given protection against the arbitrary and absolute exercise of power by the state. All citizens of the country are given protection against the absolute exercise of power by the state. It guarantees rights of minorities against majority. So, each minority community, we have different communities. So, each community has given what? Protection. It guarantees rights of the minorities like scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, they have given reservations in the fundamental rights. When we study fundamental rights, you have to look at the fact box given in the side of the textbook. Right side you can see a fact box. Just underline the fundamental rights that we already studied from class 5 onwards. What are the main fundamental rights? First one is right to equality. This means all persons are equal before the law. This means all persons should be equally protected by the laws of the country. It also states that no citizen can be discriminated against basis of religion. So, everyone has given equal rights. Next point is right to freedom. This includes the right to freedom of speech, expression, the right to form associations, the right to move freely and reside in any part of the country, and the right to practice any profession, occupation or business. So, right to freedom includes right to freedom of speech, and we can move in any part of the country freely and reside and do your work, or you can, for studies you can move to any part of the country. That is the freedom of right to freedom. Next is right against exploitation. The Constitution prohibits human trafficking, forced labor and employment of children under 14 years of age. So, under right against exploitation, human trafficking, forced labor and employment of children under 14 years of age are taken care of. Next is right to freedom of religion. In India, each religion has given equal respect. That is, every person has the right to practice, profess and propagate the religion of their choice. So, India we have the right to worship any god we want. Next is cultural and educational rights. The Constitution states that all minorities, religious or linguistics, can set up their own educational institutions in order to preserve and develop their own culture. So, everybody has given equal right. Minorities, religious groups, they can make their own institutions to profess about their, preserve and develop their own culture. Next is right to constitutional remedies. This allows citizens to move the court if they believe that any of their fundamental rights have been violated by the state. So, if any of your right has been violated, then you have the right to go to court for protecting against any of these fundamental rights. Right to constitutional remedies. This allows citizens to move the court if they believe that any of their fundamental rights have been violated by the state. These are about fundamental rights. You have to underline the fact box, and fundamental rights, page number 14. It protects citizens against the arbitrary and absolute exercise of power by the state. It guarantees the rights of minorities against the majority. Underline these points. Now coming to next point, next feature of Indian Constitution, secularism. A secular state is one in which state does not officially promote any one religion. Yes, in India you can see number of religions. Yes, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh. There are different communities of people living in harmony in India. So in India we don't promote any particular religion as official religion. So in India a secular state is one in which the state does not officially promote any one religion as the state religion. Underline, the state does not officially promote any one religion as the state religion. So these are the key features of Indian Constitution. We can recap once again. Features, first one, federalism. Here we have three-tier structure, governments at state, center and at local level. Next is parliamentary form of government. In India, we guarantees universal adult suffrage for all citizens. People have a direct role in electing their representatives. Every citizen of the country, irrespective of caste or religions, can contest in the elections. Now, separation of powers, there are three organs of the state, that is legislature, executive and judiciary. Legislature means elected representatives of the state. Executive is the responsible for implementing the laws, and judiciary, it refers to the courts that solve the disputes from people to people, from government and people, and government and government. So this central and state government, so all these disputes will be cleared under judiciary. Next is fundamental rights. It protects people against the arbitrary and absolute exercise of power by the state. It guarantees rights of the minorities. Secularism, the state does not officially promote any one religion as the state religion. This is all about this chapter, Constitution. Children, please do underline the important points. Frame as many questions as you can and write beside the topics. Hope you all understood this very well. Thank you and have a nice day.